Hello, and welcome to Great Sleep. Get ready to listen and relax. Today I'm going to tell you an incredible story that took place in a small bookstore in an Irish town. The quaint Irish village of Ardmore was enveloped in a cool embrace as the sun sank below the horizon, casting a soft glow over the cobblestone streets. The air was crisp, carrying with it the scent of fallen leaves and the promise of winter. Colorful houses lined the streets, their windows glowing warmly against the encroaching darkness. The village pub, the Emerald Harp, buzzed with laughter and lively conversation as locals sought refuge from the chill. Amidst this picturesque scene stood Maeve O'Connor, a young woman with fiery red hair and a twinkle in her emerald green eyes. She was the proud owner of Maeve's Books, a cozy bookstore nestled between a bakery and a flower shop. Maeve's love for literature was evident in every nook and cranny of her store, from the shelves overflowing with books to the inviting armchairs scattered throughout. As Maeve stepped outside her bookstore, she pulled her cardigan tighter around her, feeling the chill seep through her bones. She glanced down the street, admiring the warm glow emanating from the Emerald Harp. It was a place where stories were shared, laughter echoed, and friendships were forged over pints of Guinness. Maeve often found herself drawn to its welcoming atmosphere after a long day at the bookstore. The sound of footsteps approaching caught Maeve's attention, and she turned to see Liam O'Sullivan, a regular customer and self-proclaimed bookworm, making his way towards her. Liam's warm smile lit up his face as he reached Maeve. "Ah, Maeve. How are you this fine evening?" Liam asked, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Maeve returned his smile. "I'm well, Liam. Just enjoying the autumn air. How about you?" Liam's gaze swept across the shelves of books, his voice filled with admiration. "Your bookstore is truly a gem, Maeve. It's a haven for book lovers like me. I can't thank you enough for creating this magical place." Maeve's eyes lit up with pride. "Books have always held a special place in my heart. They have the power to transport us to different worlds, to make us feel and think. I wanted to create a space where readers could find solace and inspiration." Liam nodded, his gaze lingering on a shelf filled with classics. "You've certainly succeeded, Maeve. This bookstore is a sanctuary for the soul." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, the sounds of the village swirling around them. Maeve took a deep breath, the crisp autumn air filling her lungs. She felt a sense of contentment wash over her, knowing that she had created something truly special in Ardmore. As they bid each other farewell and Liam made his way towards the Emerald Harp, Maeve couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude. Her little bookstore had become a beloved part of the village, a place where stories came alive and dreams took flight. With renewed determination, she stepped back into Maeve's books, ready to continue sharing her passion for literature with the world. Word of Maeve's bookstore had spread throughout the village, and it had become the heart of Ardmore. Locals would often gather there, seeking respite from their daily routines. The bookstore was more than just a place to buy books. It was a hub of conversation, connection, and community. On any given day, the shelves were filled with villagers engrossed in lively discussions about literature. They would debate the merits of different authors, recommend books to one another, and share their favorite passages. Maeve relished these moments, knowing that her bookstore had become a catalyst for intellectual curiosity and camaraderie. As the evening wore on, more villagers trickled into Maeve's books. Old friends reunited over cups of steaming tea, while newcomers were welcomed with open arms. The cozy ambience of the bookstore fostered a sense of belonging, as if everyone who entered was part of an extended family. Maeve watched with delight as a group of teenagers huddled together in a corner, their heads bent over a stack of graphic novels. They laughed and whispered excitedly, their eyes lighting up as they discovered new stories and characters. It warmed Maeve's heart to see young readers finding joy in the pages of books, knowing that they were building a lifelong love for reading. The bookstore's armchairs were always occupied by villagers seeking solace or inspiration. Some would sit quietly, lost in the pages of a novel, while others engaged in animated discussions about the latest bestsellers. Maeve would often join in these conversations, sharing her own thoughts and recommendations. As the evening drew to a close, Maeve found herself reflecting on the day's events. She marveled at how her little bookstore had become a haven for the community, a place where stories were shared, friendships were forged, and dreams took flight. With a sense of gratitude and fulfillment, Maeve closed the doors of Maeve's books, ready to continue the journey of spreading the magic of literature in the days to come. One chilly evening, as the village prepared for the arrival of winter, a whisper of excitement rippled through Ardmore. Rumors spread like wildfire, hinting at an upcoming event that promised to bring joy and wonder to the village. Maeve couldn't help but feel her curiosity piqued. She watched as the villagers buzzed with anticipation, their eyes shining with excitement. The air crackled with a sense of something extraordinary about to unfold. In the bookstore, conversations shifted from books to speculations about the mysterious event. The shelves seemed to hum with anticipation, as if the books themselves were eager to be part of the unfolding spectacle. Maeve's regular customers would come into the store, their faces filled with excitement and curiosity. They would ask Maeve if she had heard anything about the event, hoping she could provide some insight. Maeve would smile and shake her head, just as clueless as they were. One day, as Maeve was rearranging a shelf of new releases, a young woman with a mischievous smile walked into the bookstore. Her name was Aoife, and she was an aspiring writer looking for inspiration. Maeve immediately sensed a kindred spirit in her and struck up a conversation. As they chatted, Maeve couldn't help but feel a spark of excitement. She knew that Aoife's arrival marked a new chapter in her bookstore's journey. Together, it would create a haven for writers and readers alike, a place where dreams took shape and stories flourished. In the days leading up to the event, Maeve found herself taking moments of quiet reflection amidst the hustle and bustle of the bookstore. She would sit in her favorite armchair, surrounded by towering bookshelves, and let her thoughts wander. She thought about the power of literature and how it had shaped her own life. Books had been her constant companions, guiding her through joyous moments and offering solace during difficult times. Maeve believed in the transformative magic of stories, and she was determined to share that belief with others. As she sat there, lost in her thoughts, she could hear snippets of conversations drifting through the bookstore. The hushed whispers of customers discussing their favorite books or recounting tales they had read filled her heart with warmth. It was in these moments that Maeve knew she had created something truly special. The days leading up to the event were filled with anticipation and excitement. The villagers would come into Maeve's books, sharing their own speculations and theories about what the event might entail. Some believed it would be a grand performance by local musicians, while others thought it might be an art exhibition showcasing the talents of Ardmore's artists. Maeve would listen intently, her heart swelling with anticipation. She realized that her bookstore had become more than just a place to buy books. It had become a sanctuary where stories came alive and dreams took flight. As she looked around at the bustling store, she couldn't help but feel a sense of fulfillment. Maeve's books had not only survived, but it had thrived, thanks to the unwavering support of her community and the enduring magic of literature. Finally, the day of the much-anticipated event arrived. The village was abuzz with excitement as villagers gathered in the town square, their faces glowing with anticipation. The air was electric with a sense of wonder and possibility. Maeve stood among the crowd, her heart pounding with anticipation. The square was transformed into a magical wonderland, adorned with twinkling lights and colorful decorations. A stage had been set up, and a hush fell over the crowd as a figure stepped forward. It was a storyteller, dressed in flowing robes and carrying a weathered leather-bound book. The crowd leaned in, captivated by the storyteller's every word. As the tales unfolded, the villagers were transported to distant lands, their imaginations ignited by the power of storytelling. The storyteller's voice carried through the square, painting vivid pictures in the minds of those who listened. The crowd hung onto every word, their eyes wide with wonder. The stories were filled with adventure, love, and lessons that resonated deeply with each listener. Maeve watched as the villagers' faces lit up with joy and awe. She could feel the magic of the event swirling around her, filling her heart with warmth and gratitude. This was what she had hoped for when she first opened Maeve's Books, a place where stories came alive and touched the souls of those who heard them. As the event drew to a close, the crowd erupted in applause and cheers. The storyteller took a bow, their eyes shining with satisfaction. The villagers slowly dispersed, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of wonder and joy. The magical evening had left an indelible mark on their souls, reminding them of the power of stories and the importance of community. As the event came to an end, Maeve found herself surrounded by villagers eager to share their thoughts and feelings about the experience. They spoke of the stories they had heard and how they had been moved by the storyteller's words. Maeve listened intently, her heart swelling with pride. She realized that her bookstore had become more than just a place to buy books. It had become a sanctuary where stories came alive and dreams took flight. The event had solidified her belief in the transformative power of literature, and she was determined to continue fostering that magic within her community. The days following the event were filled with a renewed sense of excitement and wonder. Villagers would come into Maeve's Books, their faces still glowing with the magic of the evening. They would recount their favorite moments, sharing the impact the stories had on their lives. Maeve cherished these conversations, knowing that her little bookstore had played a role in creating such a memorable experience. She felt a deep connection to her community, grateful for the support and enthusiasm they had shown. As she stood behind the counter, surrounded by shelves filled with books, Maeve couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude. Her bookstore had not only survived the challenges it had faced, but had thrived, thanks to the unwavering support of her community and the enduring magic of literature. As the seasons changed and the village embraced the arrival of spring, Maeve faced a new set of challenges. The increasing popularity of online shopping and e-books threatened the survival of her beloved bookstore. Foot traffic dwindled, and Maeve found herself struggling to keep her doors open. But she refused to let adversity defeat her. Maeve was determined to find a way to adapt and thrive in the ever-changing landscape of the book industry. She brainstormed ideas, sought advice from fellow booksellers, and explored new avenues to connect with readers. One morning, as Maeve sipped her tea and browsed through a bookstore trade magazine, a spark of inspiration struck. She read about successful independent bookstores that had embraced technology while still maintaining the charm and personal touch that customers craved. Maeve realized that she needed to find a way to bridge the gap between the convenience of online shopping and the unique experience of browsing through physical books. She decided to create an online platform for Maeve's Books, where customers could browse and purchase books from the comfort of their own homes while still supporting their local bookstore. With Aoife's help, Maeve set to work building the online platform. They photographed each book in the store, meticulously cataloging them on the website. They created an easy-to-navigate interface that mimicked the cozy ambience of the physical store. And they made sure to include personalized recommendations and handwritten notes with every online purchase, ensuring that customers still felt the warmth and personal touch that Maeve's Books was known for. Word of Maeve's struggles spread throughout the village, and the community rallied behind her. Villagers who had once flocked to online retailers now made a conscious effort to support their local bookstore. They organized book clubs, hosted author signings, and spread the word about Maeve's Books through social media. The support from the community was overwhelming, and Maeve was humbled by their dedication. She realized that her bookstore had become more than just a business. It had become a symbol of resilience and community spirit. Together, they were proving that the power of books could withstand any challenge. Customers would come into the store, their faces filled with gratitude and appreciation. They would share stories of how Maeve's Books had impacted their lives, how the cozy ambience and personal touch had made them feel like part of a family. Maeve would listen intently, her heart swelling with pride. She knew that her little bookstore had made a difference in the lives of its customers, and she was determined to continue providing that same level of care and connection. As she stood behind the counter, surrounded by shelves filled with books, Maeve couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude. Her bookstore had not only survived the challenges it had faced, but had thrived, thanks to the unwavering support of her community and the enduring magic of literature. Just as Maeve began to regain her footing, a surprising twist unfolded. A renowned author, Declan O'Sullivan, announced that he would be visiting Ardmore for a book signing event. The news sent shockwaves through the village, as Declan was known for his reclusive nature and rarely made public appearances. Excitement rippled through the community once again as villagers eagerly awaited Declan's arrival. Maeve saw an opportunity to bring even more people into her bookstore and showcase the magic that books could create. She organized a meet and greet event, inviting locals to come and engage with the acclaimed author. The day of Declan O'Sullivan's visit arrived, and the village was abuzz with anticipation. The line outside Maeve's Books stretched down the street, filled with eager readers clutching their copies of Declan's latest novel. Inside the bookstore, the air was charged with excitement and nervous energy. Maeve stood behind the counter, her heart pounding with anticipation. She had been a fan of Declan's work for years, and the opportunity to meet him in person was a dream come true. As the doors opened and the crowd flooded into the store, She couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude for the support her community had shown. As Declan entered the bookstore, the crowd erupted in applause. Maeve stood by his side, her heart swelling with pride. She watched as villagers approached Declan, their eyes shining with admiration and gratitude. They shared stories of how his books had touched their lives, how they had found solace and inspiration within the pages. Declan listened intently, his eyes filled with warmth and appreciation. He thanked each person for their kind words, taking the time to engage in meaningful conversations. Maeve watched as he connected with her customers, their shared love for literature bridging any gaps that may have existed. In that moment, Maeve knew that her belief in the power of books had prevailed. Her little bookstore had become a beacon of hope and connection, a place where stories came alive and dreams took flight. As she looked around at the smiling faces, she couldn't help but feel a sense of fulfillment. Maeve's books had not only survived, but it had thrived, thanks to the unwavering support of her community and the enduring magic of literature. The day after Declan O'Sullivan's visit, Maeve found herself reflecting on the incredible journey her bookstore had taken. From its humble beginnings to becoming a beloved part of the community, Maeve's books had weathered many storms and emerged stronger than ever. She sat in her favorite armchair, surrounded by the comforting presence of books. The shelves overflowed with stories waiting to be discovered, their pages filled with wisdom, adventure, and love. Maeve marveled at the power of literature, how it could touch hearts and change lives. As she sat there, lost in her thoughts, a customer entered the bookstore. It was Liam, his face filled with excitement. "Maeve, have you heard the news?" he exclaimed. Maeve smiled, her curiosity piqued. "What news, Liam?" Liam's eyes sparkled with excitement. The village council has decided to honor Maeve's books as a cultural landmark. They recognize the impact your bookstore has had on the community and want to preserve its legacy for future generations. Maeve's heart swelled with pride and gratitude. She couldn't believe that her little bookstore had made such an impact on the village. It was a testament to the power of books and the unwavering support of her community. As news of the honor spread throughout the village, villagers flocked to Maeve's books to congratulate her. They shared stories of how the bookstore had touched their lives, how it had become a sanctuary in times of joy and sorrow. Maeve listened intently, her heart overflowing with gratitude. In the weeks that followed, Maeve worked closely with the village council to ensure that Maeve's books would continue to thrive for generations to come. Together, they developed plans to expand the bookstore, creating dedicated spaces for author events, writing workshops, and community gatherings. The support from the community was overwhelming. villagers volunteered their time and resources to help with the expansion, eager to contribute to the legacy of Maeve's books. The bookstore buzzed with excitement and anticipation as construction began, transforming it into an even more vibrant hub of creativity and connection. As Maeve watched the renovations unfold, she couldn't help but feel a deep sense of fulfillment. Her little bookstore had become a symbol of resilience, community, and the enduring power of literature. It had weathered countless storms and emerged stronger than ever, thanks to the unwavering support of her community and the magic of books. As she stepped outside the bookstore, Maeve looked out at the village of Ardmore. The sun bathed the cobblestone streets in a warm glow, casting a golden light on the colorful houses and bustling shops. She took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of blooming flowers and fresh air.